yeah. Do you think of me, the what we used to be? Is it better now that I'm not around? My friends all acting strange, they don't bring up your name.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are doing another makeup tutorial. This makeup tutorial is a It is a mint green half glitter cut crease. Mouthful, but it's fire. So you guys know I've been obsessed with glitter, and you guys have told me that you've been just as obsessed with glitter. So I was just like, I'm just gonna keep going with the glitter thing. So I love going to Joann's and getting fabric for my backdrop. Like, it's just one of my favorite things to do. Spend money. But I saw this backdrop and I was like, I could do a mint green look with it. So when I sat down and started doing the mint green eyeshadow, it ended up turning out a little bit more of like a sea green as opposed to a blue green. So I was like, damn it. So it didn't really come out exactly how I wanted it. But nonetheless, I decided to break out my Anastasia Beverly Hills self-made palette for this look, because this is one of my least picked up Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows, just because there's not a lot of transitions for the amount of shades that she put in it. This was the first time she put 14 shades, I believe. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Yeah, the first time she put 14 shades in it. She only gave us one matte shade, which was hot chocolate, and that was it. Everything else had a little bit of shimmer to it, or was a satin or something like that. So I was like, I can't really do anything with it, but I wanted it, you know what I mean? It was the latest Anastasia palette and I had to buy it, right? Guilty. I know you're guilty too. But Ilsa was one of the ones that I really, really wanted because it's such a pretty shade. And yes, you can buy all of these shades in single shadows. So if you don't want this entire palette, say you just want like deep purple, pink champagne, hot chocolate, and Ilsa, you can buy those 4 pans for like 40 bucks on her website. Not a big deal. But yes, I just wanted to bust this out and do like a mint green shade or shadow look. So to correlate with this palette, I always pick up my Shadow Couture palette because this was one of the best eyeshadow palettes she ever came out with. It had your warm transition shades, it had your brow bone highlights, it had some lid colors, and also a matte black that is super duper black that could deepen and darken the crease. Like, this was just a beautiful array of colors and shades to go in a palette if you were going to make a palette. Something like this is what I would personally come out with if I were making an eyeshadow palette. Not there yet, but when I do, that is something that I would most likely do. But I also wanted to mention really quick, I know this intro will be very long, I'm sorry, I apologize right now. I wanted to mention this CoverFx foundation to you guys. So I was watching Jaclyn Hill's full face of first impressions video. I don't watch a lot of YouTube videos when I do, but when I do, I like to watch the full face first impression videos because I feel like those are ones that I can get a little bit more information on. Unfortunately, I don't buy enough stuff to do those, so I won't be doing those. Sorry, guys. But this is the CoverFx Total Coverage Cream Foundation. It looks like this. It's in a little compact, and it's just like a compact cream foundation. She was like, when she used it, she was like, oh my gosh, I love this foundation. She was like obsessed with it. So I've also seen Rezi use it as well. She mixes it with her Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. So when I saw that, I was like, I know Jaclyn Hill has more oily skin, but if it's full coverage, but more of like a natural finish, especially with my drier skin right now, I'm like, I need it. So I went to Ulta when I was down in St. Louis. Some of you guys know that I went to St. Louis on vacation if you watch my Snapchat. And I went into Sephora and I was like, I am just going in for one thing. And I left with one thing. Woohoo! How many of y'all can say that? So anyways, this is the foundation. I got the shade N100. This is the same shade that I have in the Natural Finish, just regular liquid foundation. I think it's N80 or N100. There was a couple that I was in between. I do like more of a golden, so I probably should have went with something more of like the G family, but they didn't have that many shades in the G family in Sephora. So N100, you guys, matches me to a T. You will see later on in the video when I'm applying it, like, I was blown away how much it actually matched my skin tone. So if I back up a little bit, you can see from my neck to my face, there's not a line of demarcation. It matches my undertone, it matches my skin tone, it looks very natural. Like, looking at it in person, I'm like obsessed, you guys. Like, it is like the best foundation that I've ever used that matched my skin tone. You guys know I love that LA Girl foundation. It is wonderful and it matches me perfectly as well, but this foundation, oh my gosh, it is more expensive. I think it's like 42 bucks, but this cream foundation, I use it with my F82 angled round top kabuki brush just because I feel like it gets more of my face and it just feels really nice and soft. And as I blend it in, like it just, you don't need a lot, you guys, especially if you want more, I got it on my shirt. But if you want a little bit more of a natural coverage, you could just put it in the spots where you need it. But you guys, full coverage, full glam, natural finish, like this foundation is beautiful. I recommend it to any of my girls that need a full coverage foundation, but they don't like liquid because liquid can be a little cakey. They don't like powder because powder doesn't add a lot of coverage. This cream is going to be perfect. You can also set this with a powder. I personally don't. I just set my under eye and everything where I apply my concealer. You guys know how I do. But you can set it with a powder. The Laura Mercier powder would be very, very, very great with this if you feel like you need a little bit more coverage or you're so oily that you need another layer of powder to protect your skin. If you guys want me to do a full coverage foundation routine using this product, let me know. I will film that ASAP if you guys do want me to do that. By the time you see this video, it'll probably be like the end of March, and I've probably already filmed it, so you'll see it probably at the end of this week after this video. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm sorry the intro was a little bit too long, but I just had to let you guys know about the CoverFx foundation and how wonderful it is. So it's kind of like a mini review. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, then please keep on watching. I'm sorry for the 15-minute long video. I'll just apologize now. But I love you all, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to start by priming our lids, and I'm using my Kryolan concealer wheel. You guys already know that's what I always use to prime my lids. Then I'm going to go into the Shadow Couture palette, and I'm taking the shade Morocco, which is a really pretty kind of mild, like reddish brown kind of orange transition shade. So I'm taking that on a Sigma E35 blending brush, and I'm working that up into the upper crease as my bridge shade. Then I'm going to take Hot Chocolate. This is it's really honestly like a really pretty chocolate shade. So I'm taking that on a Kylie blending brush. This came out of the Peach palette, and it's a really nice long gold haired blending brush. Like it really blew me out of the water, you guys. So I'm packing that out into the outer V, then I'm bringing that into the inner portion, and then I take Noir with a Sigma E25 blending brush. This is a very firm E25 blending brush, so I'm mainly focusing the bulk of that black out into that outer corner, and then I slowly start blending that into the inner portion, like really slowly, because I don't like for the inner portion of my eyes to be really dark, so I bring in just the tiniest bit of black in there just to further kind of, you know, make it a little bit smokier. So right now I'm just going back in with the previous brush with no additional product, just using it to blend fudge with Noir. So now I'm taking an E15 flat definer brush by Sigma, and I'm taking that same concealer, and I am just cutting out my half cut crease. You guys know I just take this up into where my crease bone is and then just pack the concealer everywhere else. And then I take Ilsa, which is a mint green shadow, but it ended up turning out a little bit more of like a kind of like sea green as opposed to mint green, like my backdrop. But nonetheless, this is a really pretty Sigma, a really pretty sea green shade. And then I take the NYC black liquid eyeliner while I still can use it, and I just draw a wing liner. If you guys want a wing liner tutorial, please let me know. I know you guys always say I make it look easy, but trust me, I struggle all the time. And now I'm going into a NYX crystal liner. This is in the shade Crystal Silk, so it's kind of a cross between a champagne and a silver. So I'm just taking that right where I cut the crease. I'm just taking that right on top of that mint green shade and just draw it all the way until it pretty much covers it. So I also use my Annytude lashes. These are in the style Sassy. And then I prime my skin with my Soap and Glory Kick-Ass Super Blur Primer. Now, you guys know this is one of my favorite primers. It's in a stick form, so I just place it everywhere where I like for it to be primed. Then I go in with the Total Coverage Cream Foundation by CoverFx. I am going to do one side, and I'm using a Sigma F82 just so you guys can kind of see the difference. This is the side that I just did with foundation and applied it, and this is the other side of my face. Like, it covers everything, and it looks so natural, you guys. Like, I was literally, for one, blown away at how good this color matched my skin and matched my undertone. Like, it doesn't look too warm, doesn't look too cool, doesn't look ashy, doesn't look
red. It just matches so well, and it also covers everything, you guys. If you guys have dark spots, you need to invest in this foundation. So after that, I conceal with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is in the shade Deep. I definitely need to go get another one because this is like one of my OG, like all-time favorite concealers. Like Tarte was genius to come out with this, but I'm just applying that under my eyes, my nose, my cupid's bow, chin, and forehead, and then I blend it all out with a beauty blender. And then to set all of that, I use my Sacha Buttercup setting powder, and I had one of you guys ask me why I decided to press it into the skin rather than bake, and the reason being is as I kept baking, I felt like my under eye got so dry because, as I mentioned, the rest of my skin is pretty dry from the winter, so I just started pressing into the skin as opposed to baking. And then I go in and contour with my MakeupGeek contouring pans in Deal Breaker, and I forget the other one, but I mainly use Deal Breaker because that's the warm contouring pan, and I like a little bit more of a warmer contour as opposed to a cooler contour. And then I use the blush in the shade Dazzle, I believe. I'll have it listed down below for sure, but it's another MakeupGeek blush. And then for highlighter, you guys already know I'm using my Bobbi Brown Bronze Glow highlighter. This is one of my favorite highlighters. If you haven't invested in this highlighter, what are you doing with your life? It gives you such a really nice beaming highlight, but if you like it a little bit more natural, you can still look a little bit more natural. So after that, I go back up to the eyes, and I'm using a NYX Light On Glide On pencil. This is just in the shade Black, and I'm just using that to black out my waterline. I also use that for my tight line, and then I go back in with Noir on a different flat definer brush by Sigma, and I just use that underneath of the lower lash line. I tuck this really close because I'm going to end up going in later with Hot Fudge to blow it out, so I just take that right underneath of my lower lashes. And then I go back in with Hot Fudge on a Pretty Bar pencil brush and just use that to really blow that and smoke that out. I go over it multiple times to really make sure that it's not just a straight black line, because it can look like you've got punched in the eye or anything like that. And then for lips, I'm using my NYX lip liner. This is a matte suede lip liner in the shade Downtown Beauty. You guys know it's one of my favorite lip liners ever. Like, they just go on so nice, and there's so many different colors. And then for lips, I'm using a MAC lip gloss. This is in the shade Spite. This is discontinued. The only reason I bought this was because it was like $9 because it was discontinued. So such a pretty color though, isn't it? Like, it's just the perfect nude. But anyways, that wraps up my video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah. Bye.